Good morning, cyber friend. This is Mitty Man coming back at you again from Walker's Musical. Yet another word for the day. We want to say we just give God all the praise and honor, and we give Him all the glory for life, health, and strength. We thank Him. I just come this morning to say that we are very, very glad to be counted worthy for God to saw fit by His goodness and His grace to let us slide on over to 2015. And needless to say, people, there's a lot of things that went on in 2014 that wasn't altogether right, but that was some good things that happened all as well. And matter of fact, I'm looking forward to a great year. Matter of fact, I have decided that I was going to have a great year. Now, I can't help anybody else. If you want to have a bad year, you go right ahead on. But Midman's going to have a good year because I've decided that I was going to follow Jesus regardless. And I know that whatever I encounter, whatever I go through, He's with me. I know that. Not because of anything great of me, but it's because of His goodness. Not because I'm good, but because He's good. I just said that to, matter of fact, Sister Tina on last night. We thank you, Sister Tina. Matter of fact, Sister Tina's a member of my church. Matter of fact, she's the minister, sister of the house, I would say, in other words. And we just so glad to have her be a part. And what I was saying, in other words, we were saying that people always sometimes put her down and whatnot. But I always tell her the same thing I'm going to sit here this morning and tell each and every one of you out there, the ones that see this video, you don't worry about that. You can't keep people happy. It's not your job. In other words, I tell even to my wife, I said, look, it's not my job to keep you happy. In other words, I have decided that I'm going to keep my joy, regardless of what people do or what people say. I've decided I'm going to keep my joy. And the reason why, like I said, is as I spoke to Sister Tina, you got to learn to put people in their prospective places. It's not your job to keep people satisfied or happy. Number one, because you can't. You're going to find yourself very busy because people are one way 1 minute and they're another way another minute. And, I tell people, Minute Man tries not to hurt anybody directly, but being human, I'm subject and liable to make mistakes just like anybody else, and do make mistakes, plenty of them. But I've learned that not to wallow in the mistakes and not to be all overly concerned about my mistake, because that's why Christ died. Because He knew that Minute Man was going to make a mess. And He cleaned up my mess even before the foundation of this world. So what I'm saying is, people, you cannot keep people happy. If you got to do a certain thing to keep a person happy, if you got to act a certain way, and you got to always agree with what they are doing and what they're saying, they're not a real friend no way. Let me tell you something, people. Minute Man found out a long time ago. And I've always been one to give you what you want. In other words, if you even act like that you don't want to be bothered with Minute Man, you don't have to worry about Minute Man. I can read between the lines, and God does not have to write things in the sky for me to understand. So now, like we were saying, I was telling a sister about the Facebook, saying that she had to get rid of a lot of people off her Facebook account, but about befriending. And I told her, join the club. I'm cutting back on that same thing because, see, first of all, Facebook is a good thing, and I'm not going to kill my account. I'm not going to kill my account on Facebook because other people might use it a certain way. I'm just not going to use it that way. But I'm going to keep Facebook because it's a good tool to keep up with your choir members and your associates, the one that really makes a difference. And you can send out some stuff and get it to them very, very quickly like that. And I'm going to keep Facebook. But I refuse to let Facebook, how would I say it? Facebook trivia. This is a little pitty inner stuff that these people putting up there. I ain't got time to fool all them sayings and all that. It's all right if you want to uplift someone and encourage somebody, but sometimes all these things that be posted is not necessary. So I can't control that. But I can control my computer. When I see that stuff, I just move on and go on to what I want to get. And when I get done, I'm through with it. Because really and truly what I'm saying is I got people that's on Facebook. Well, I had them. that only account that I've, you know, text them or tried to have a conversation with them, people that, you know, I thought was all right. They didn't even text back. So guess what? You go off my list. Why would you want to be on my contact list if you don't contact me? So just get off my list. In other words, stop being nosy on my page. So just get rid of those people. You ain't got to let them mess up your whole day because they didn't text you back. If I'm like this, people, this is the way Mitty Man. And I'm sorry, but this is just the way I am. If I text a person, whether it be on Facebook or whatever, or telephone, you know, we got these smartphones. Now, sometimes the phone is more smarter than the people that use them. In other words, we can text each other now. We ain't even got to call. There are some people don't even like to call people no more. They just love to text. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's still communication. But if a person texts me on my phone, if a person texts me here on my phone, I'm going to get that text message. If my phone is on, whatnot, I'm going to get that message. Well, I text them back. I receive your message. We'll get back with you later. Something real small and simple. You don't have to sit there and try to write a book, but something small and simple. That's just to acknowledge that you got the text. That way people know what time it is. Well, if I text you and you don't text me back, well, I give you a benefit of a doubt. I text you again and you still don't text me back. Well, I'm done. I'm through with that. Because see, and if I called you and I know that this phone, people have called me and they told me that I didn't answer. And I didn't. Because a lot of time, if I'm in it's a dead spot in this room somewhere. If I have my phone sitting there, this phone will not ring. If it's not on air, it's not going to ring. So, but if they let me know that, then I check my phone. I said, no, I didn't get that. I didn't get that call. So I'm sorry about that. But I can't, I can't help because the tower wasn't working right. But at any rate, though, if I call a person, and I don't blame people that they do me the same way. If I call you and leave a message on your service and you don't answer back, that let me know you don't want to be bothered. So guess what? I leave you alone. In other words, don't get mad at nobody. Just give them what they want. If a person decides not to text you back on Facebook or whatnot, that's a sign that they don't really care to be talk to you, or they don't want to say nothing. They are done with you. Just go ahead on and take them off your contact list. Simple as that, and you won't have to worry with it. People, we don't have to lose our joy over this technology. As a matter of fact, Mitty Man is not mad at nobody. I mean, I got more sense than that. Ain't nowhere in the world, I ain't lived 53 years by being a fool. And I ain't never been in a hospital with nothing serious, thank God. That's just a blessing of God. I've been in the hospital before when I was in the military. I had a little issue with my blood pressure at one time when I was in the military, but other than that, Mitty Man never spent no time in the hospital for no kind of anything. No, nothing, period. Not a broken bone, nothing. Not a knife been on my body. And I'm 53 years old. That's a blessing. That ain't because I'm good. That's just the blessing and goodness of God. But what I'm saying is, you cannot be stable worrying about people. Just make certain that you're doing things not for a bad reason. In other words, there are a lot of times we have to cut certain things out of our life because your life schedule will not allow you to do certain things. I know a lot of people that I've talked to that said that they had to do a whole lot of things differently. Not because they really wanted to, but because their schedule changed and their life responsibilities changed. And I know Mitty Man got a lot of responsibilities. I got a lot of responsibilities in the church. I'm not only the minister of music, I'm also the chairman of the building committee. And among other things I have to do, I run a studio. I'm trying to do that, and I got a PC tech business, and I do all the PCs in this town, everything from the drugstore to the city hall. I mean, my schedule is very, very full. But nevertheless, what I'm saying here, people, this 2015, don't busy yourself trying to make people happy because you're gonna fail. You can't do it. Even the Lord himself gave them up for a reprobate mind. In other words, there are some people that you just going to have to don't worry about. You don't hate them now, but you just set them to the side. Don't let them stop your progress. In other words, you just set them to the side. Like I say, I got a cable coming today I'm supposed to get it in a few more minutes, that I'm going to be able to network every computer in here that I got together. I'm going to make one big music system. I ain't letting the cat out the bag yet, but I know what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is I don't have time to sit here and worry about what other people might be thinking. You know what? I found out that whether you go to Colgate University, Princeton, or Harvard, it doesn't make any difference. If people want to think that you're somebody, then you're somebody. But if they want to think you nothing, well, in their sight and their eyesight, you still nothing, regardless of what you do. Don't worry about people. I remember a movie came out a while back with Uncle Fester, we call him. That was the title name in the movie. But he died, that comedian, I can't think of his name now. Just because I want to, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac was Uncle Fester in this movie called House Party, I believe it was. And he was supposed to be the brother of Robin Harris. In other words, Kid Daddy was Robin Harris. And Uncle Fester, that was his brother. So he was coming to visit, but they were having a house party. And I never will forget, when Kid wanted to marry this girl, pretty girl. And they went over, him and his mom, grandmom, and all, went over to the bride's house, you know, with the bride-to-be house. And they were sitting at the dinner table, and the other comedian, I can't think of his name, he was the dad there, and he got his pistol out, and he went to shoot. And because of Uncle Fester, and I can't repeat what Uncle Fester, the way he did it. But what he said made a lot of sense. He said, when people don't want to accept you, forget them. Don't worry about them. In other words, he said, send them on to hell with gasoline draws on. That's what he said. I can say that much. In other words, what he was saying was, don't worry about people, because, see, you cannot keep people happy. And your worth is not what other people think about you. And I'm so glad that I've really never had that problem to think, you know, and I've been walked on, spit on, kicked, beat, you name it, I've been through it on that part with people. So in other words, if you don't try to break minivan spirit by acting a fool, you're gonna be acting a fool a long time, because it's not gonna disturb me. I have had people to try to draw me into these little internet squabbles. With saying certain things and replying back to them because they done got stupid. You know what? If you don't like what I'm saying, just stay off my page. You ain't got to look at my video. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, well, that's your prerogative. There's a lot of people don't agree with you. But I'm not going to sit here and argue. You know, I look like a real big fool to get on the internet and argue back and forth with somebody I never met. That don't even make no sense to me. In other words, people, let me tell you something. Whatever you get into, if God's not in it, it's best that you come out of it, because it's going to come to nothing anyway. We just thank God for 2015, and Admitted Man is already wide open and ready to go. Matter of fact, I got great aspiration, and I know that the Lord will provide, and He's already done made the way. All I got to do is follow through. In other words, I got a lot to do. I got a lot of plans out there that I got to try to get done, but I'm not going to try to do it by myself, because the captain, my captain, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, if you Hebrew, He already made the way. And so, like I said, keep your joy. Don't let other people steal your joy. And remember now, it's not your job to keep people happy. It's just not your job. This is Admitted Man saying peace. Goodbye.